Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, and you are all welcome to the day 2 of our AUTOCAD Bootcamp session. It has been a privilege to have you all in our previous session, which was yesterday, and we are very excited to have you all today in this second session. So today we have a lot of information we want to share with you. We have a lot of knowledge we want to impact in you today, and we hope you all are going to stay put right up to the end of this session. For those who attended the previous session, like we said before, I've not received the email addresses. I don't know if you sent it to Mr. Wahida Richi or you sent the email address to me. I've received just 2 email addresses for those who attended yesterday. Please make sure as we are going through this session, you send in your email address, because once we are done, you send in the email address with your full names so that we can prepare you a certification for attending this boot camp from the United Arab Emirates. All right, once again, you are all welcome. We are going to have this program kick off immediately, and this program is going to share into 2 parts. All right, yesterday I think you got a lot of knowledge from Mr. Wahida Richi, and today he's still going to impact you with part of the session which we left for today. All right, then I'm going to take you in now to bring you out in a real life scenario, what is expected of you as a BIM expert, what you need to know as far as pursuing your career in this field is concerned. If you are still in school, you're going to talk on how you can start improving on your skills. All right, the things you need to put into consideration while in school so that when you are done, you're going to be good for the job market. If you're actually working at the moment in any company, and then we're going to tell you how you can become an entrepreneur, because you don't have to work the whole of your life for someone. All right, you need to start thinking of how to build something for yourself, just as Mr. Wahilari is currently doing. So please, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you sit right up to the end, because towards the end of this session is really going to be an interesting session. All right, so thank you all for coming. I don't know if Mr. Wahilari is available so that he can kick off with the part B of this program, and I'm going to come in later and we are going to cement everything we've been doing so far with a very good demonstration as well, and a good model. Mr. Wahilari, are you available?
Yes, I'm here, Mr. Tamo. Okay, good evening once more, everyone. And welcome to day 2 of this AutoCAD Essentials Guide. Now, this is going to be a continuation of what we had yesterday. And we're going to now be looking at the next. Mr. Taman, can you just permit me to share the screen?
Yeah. Wait.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be looking at the next level. Other important things which you need to know that is going to guide you to be able to bring out a very good and a professional looking design. So yesterday we were able to look at a lot of things from setting up your software, setting up the AutoCAD environment, to working with text and layers and dimensioning and more. So today we are going to be looking at, the first thing we'll look at today is, I would just like to talk a bit on layers. Now, what are layers? Always try to get into the habit of working with layers, okay? Now look at this design. This looks like any other design that you have in AutoCAD, right? In here, you have doors, you have windows, you have furniture, you have all the different components. Now, all these components, they are of different layers, okay? And why are they of different layers? They are of different layers so that it can help you to easily walk around the document, okay? So what I mean by layer, this is where you have the layer. So this is the layers property up here. And presently the layer that is active is the tables layer, okay? So the tables that you have in this project are actually made of that layer, you know, and stuff like that. So now I'm going to show you how to create a title block. Now, what is a title block? After you're done with your design, you're expected to print out the design, this design like this. Now, a lot of you in here will know normally how you can plot, like you just come here and you plot out your design. Maybe you just, yeah, you just put some settings in here and you plot this out. But that is not really how you go about it. Now, the good way for you to go about it is by using what we call a title block. Now, I'm going to show you how to create a simple title block today. So we just follow up, okay? And the kind of title block that we'll be creating, the procedure which I will use, you can use that same procedure to create any title block depending on the kind of sheet of paper which you want to print on, whether it's A4, A3, A1, A0, or any paper. Now, we are going to be creating a title block, which is going to help us to be able to print on A3, okay? All right. So the first thing we want to do is to come up here to where you have through these paper sizes until where you find ISO A3. Make sure you look at ISO A3 because ISO stands for metric units and we are working with metric units, okay? So we want to create a title block for A3 and it should be in landscape. So it means the dimension of the paper has to be what? 420 by 297. This is in millimeters, okay? So that we now know the dimension. That's 420 by 297. So all we do now is just to come up here to the rectangle command, select. Now you can left click once. Just left click and you start placing it. And now all you need to do is just to type in that dimension. Now we had what? 420, 297. Okay. And when you press enter, you're going to see that it creates out this rectangle here. And this is actually the dimension of an A3 sheet of paper. Now what I want you to do is just do an offset there of 15 centimeter, 15. That'll be 15 millimeters, so that of course we're working in millimeters. So you just select the offset command up here, type in 15, and you do that offset inside, okay? So you offset into the box, just like you see me doing like this. Now the next thing I want you to do is to select these two lines which you've just created, that is the external and the internal, and you right click, hover over clipboard, you copy with base point. Don't just copy, copy with base point, okay? Now when you do that, that is okay. Don't do anything else. Now what I want you to do is to come down to the bottom left of the screen here. Now you are going to move from the model tab into the layout tab. And when I click in the layout tab, when you click here for the first time, you click in here for the first time, you are going to discover that you have a viewport in here. We don't need this. So just come in here, you click on this viewport, you press the delete key on your keyboard and you take that off, okay? Now the next thing I want you to do is to right click, hover over clipboard, screw and you come down and you paste, okay? Don't paste as blocks, just select paste. So when you select paste, okay, let's just do that again. Select this, right click, hover over clipboard, copy with base point, and you select the base point. So let's just say this is the base point here. Okay, that is okay. Now you come under the layout, right click, clipboard, and you paste, just paste, okay? Now, this is what you have copied. You discover that it is bigger than the sheet that you have in here. It's okay. Now you want to paste this at the point 0, 0. So just type 0, comma 0 on your keyboard. You press enter. Now you're going to see that it just aligns here. But what do you notice? You notice that it is bigger than this sheet of paper. That is because by default, the default sheet that is in AutoCAD here, I'm sure this should be an A4 sheet, but we are creating a title block for an A3 sheet of paper, and that is why you see it big like this. So now what we have to do is to set this up in such a way that it fits this A3 sheet of paper, because this is what happens. You see the calibrated lines that you have here. If you were to plot your design, it is only going to plot out what is within these lines, the calibrated, not the external lines, just this calibrated line. So it's only going to plot out what is within these lines, okay? So you want to make sure that it extends and it fills this paper, okay? And now I'm going to show you why we did this offset of 15 centimeters. So what I want you to do now is to come here where you have layout 1, you right click, select page setup manager, and in there now, you're going to see some settings here. The first thing you are going to notice here is you're going to see that the plot size is 210 by 297 millimeters, and it's landscape, of course, but this is not what we use. If you remember, what we used was 420 by 297, and that was the dimension of an A3. So this is for A4. So we need to create a new layout, which is going to fit the A3. So we are going to do that right now. So just click on new, and in here, let's just name this, let's name this A3. I can just put a stroke. You type in landscape, just like that, A3 landscape. Okay. As a matter of fact, you should already know the way you want to be converting your design. So let's say you always convert in PDF. So let's just add the word PDF there. Okay. All right. So A3 landscape PDF. So you just click on OK. Now it's going to take you to this plot setup, which is a normal plot setup, which you always do your plotting there manually. So what is we want you now to do is to give now the properties of this A3, which we have created in the model tab. Okay. All right. So first of all, you select the printer or plotter. Now I want this to print in PDF. So I'm just going to select something like AutoCAD PDF high quality print. That's okay. So AutoCAD PDF high quality prints, that's fine. Now this is very important. For the paper size, make sure you select ISO A3 420 by 297. Okay, so it matches. For what to plot, set this to extends. Okay, and then you center the plot. Now that's all the settings you need to do there. As for the scale, allow this to 1:1. Okay, and you make sure that for drawing orientation, this is set to what? Landscape. Now, for these properties, you can just set this to monochrome. Now, monochrome means that everything that you are going to be printing out will be printed out in black and white. Okay, and if you want to be printed out in colored, you can select ACAD, but we'll go for monochrome. So those are all the settings you need to do there, and you just click on OK. And now you see nothing has still changed, but you discover that below layout, you have now the A3 landscape PDF, which you have there, and you can see the dimension here. So in order for you to set this now to be the active layout here, what you just need to do is just double click on it, and you see now that it takes over, it overwrites the previous one, which you had, okay? So that is it, you have successfully created an A3 landscape plotting environment. And now you can use this. So let's just cancel out of that. You can use this now to import your designs in here, and you plot them out very well. But you'll notice something. Remember, I said these calibrated lines, this whatever you're plotting is going to be within this, okay? But you notice that this is not really aligning very well. So just click on that. You delete. You select the offset again, and let's do that offset, say 20 millimeters, and we offset this in like that, okay? When you do that now, you are going to discover that this now finds itself within the printer limits. And of course, you know the printer limits by seeing these calibrated lines. Okay. All right. So that is it. You have successfully created an A3 landscape plotting environment. Now, the only thing now is, well, actually down here, you still find layout. So you can just right click and you rename that as just give it the same name like it did up there, A3 landscape. Yeah, let's just allow it like that. Press enter, and there you go. All right, so now how does this work? If you come back to your model tab, you're going to discover that, okay, you can delete this now in your model tab. Okay, we don't need this. We just created this so that we import it. So you just delete that. Now you discover that you have your design in here. We're going to work with this. Yeah, we actually have this design in here. Okay, so how do we plot this in here now? We are going to do that by using what we call viewports. The first thing you'll notice is when I'm in the model tab, you don't have this tab that appears. But as soon as I switch to this viewport, now you're going to discover that you have the layout tab, which adds up there. So if I will click there, you come under layout viewports, you find what we call rectangular. So these are the viewports here. This is how you set out your viewports, okay? So if I was just to click here, say I want to create a rectangular viewport, and I just select from here to here, it is going to take me into my model tab, so I can access my model tab through this, okay? And now I can position whatever I want to print here. But the good thing is you've already done your settings and it understands that it has to print this on A3 in monochrome, which is what? Black and white. Now there are a couple of settings which you have to do here. You're going to discover that, let's go back to the model tab. You see that if you look here under the status bar, you see that the grid lines are being displayed. That is why you also have the grid lines here. So we have to get rid of that. But look at what happens. When I'm in the model tab, I see the grid lines. But when I come in here, I don't see the grid line. That is because we have not activated the design. So what you have to do is just to come here, you double click in here, and now you find that there. So if I was just to click here once, you're going to find out that those grid lines, they go off. Now, please, if you can't see this, just click here under where you have the customization. We covered this yesterday already, and you activate it here, okay? Then you'll be able to see this grid mode. Now, a shortcut for you to actually activate and deactivate is just to press the F7 key on your keyboard, okay? So F7 activates, F7 deactivates, and all that. But we don't need that in here when we are plotting. Okay, so I've successfully created one viewport, a rectangular one, this, and it has taken me into the design. So from here now, I can position my design. So let's say I want to print out maybe this design. All I need to do is just to zoom in there, and I position it here. And if I double click out there, you now have that design in there, which is ready for you to print. Now, it is possible for you to print multiple designs on one sheet like this. How do you do that? You do that by creating different viewports, okay? So I'm just going to click here and delete this viewport, select the rectangular viewport again. I just make an outline here, and you're going to see that I can position this design up here. So this goes same if you had your elevations and all that, you can just reposition them like this. Okay, so there you have the first design. So let's say I want to create, you discover we still have the grid lines there. So let's turn that off. Okay, so let's say I wanted another design here. I'm just gonna use the same because, okay, so I just create another viewport here like so. Yeah, maybe I just double click, I position this, maybe this is what I want to print, and just like that. But you discover that if you're doing it like this, there is no symmetry because there is room for error. You can make it in such a way that it overlaps here and you are not really going to be accurate. So in order for you to be accurate, let's delete this. All you need to do is just to come here to named viewport, and you select new viewport. And in here now, you can set in the number of viewports which you want to appear on your sheet here. So let's say I want to go for 4. Let's say 4 equal viewports. You see the display there. Okay, and if I just say okay, and I trace out an outline here now, you're going to see that it's going to bring out 4 equal different viewports. And from here now, I can go in and I position whatever designs I want to position in here. Maybe I position the floor plans there. Maybe I position the section here. Or if you had all the views, front, back, left, right, the section, you can position that and you rename this, you know. And after you do that now, you can then go ahead and you print this. So let me just create one viewport for this, and then I'll show you how you can print this out. So let's go for one viewport. I'm not going to trace it out. I'm still going to go for a named viewport, new viewport. Maybe let's just use 2, like so. And we do the outline like this. So that is it. You can still use 2. Let's delete this. Let me just use 1, just this outline. Now, the good thing is I am sure that this is going to print out because the display of my printer limits are what displaying outside. Okay, so I'm just gonna double click in there, turn off the grid lines, and let me just position this in here now, like so, like that, and you're good to go. So you just click out, and you have your plan, you have everything. And when you want to print now, all you need to do is just right click. Okay, you can go now to plot, and all you need to do, you don't need to do any settings again in here. If I was just to hit OK, it's just gonna plot this out. Okay, yeah, so it is very easy for you to work with title blocks, and this is how you do it. Now, of course, in here there are a lot of other settings which you can do, like you can decide to add some text, and all that, and you can decide to do that from the model tab. Of course, you can do this in the model tab, and you bring in some text and stuff, or maybe even this table, and you put that in the alongside the design. Like for instance, let's try to print this out. So all I need to do is just to come here, double click in here, and I zoom out, and I just take this, say maybe this, like so, and I'm good to go. But now look at what is happening. You'll see that this is not really, I might not really want this to appear like this because this is the table, and I might want it to be a little bit bigger. So how do I solve that problem? You can import this into the viewport directly. Okay, what do I mean? Now let's say I position this, say like this, and I'm okay with this, say so. Okay, now I want to bring in the table. So you can come here, you select your table, right click, clipboard, you just copy, don't copy with base point, you copy, you come back in here, right click, clipboard, you paste. Okay. Okay, we are still pasting, but in, so you have to actually click out of there and let us paste now. And you see now that you're pasting on the viewport, and you can actually paste that table conveniently in here. Okay, now you see that this is conflicting. Maybe we don't want this. So I'm going to go back to the model tab. I'll just go back to the model tab. Maybe I move this aside so that does not interfere. Coming back in here, you're not going to have that. And then I can paste in the table now. Clipboard, paste, and I can just paste that table, just like that. And you have it in there. And maybe you can just type in whatever information extra you want to type in there. Now look at this text. You're going to discover that this text is not matching the design. So this is big, okay? You can decide to go in here in the model tab and set that up, or you just import in here directly and you set it up here. So let's say maybe you want to position this text here. All you need to do is just to come in here, you select this text, right click, clipboard, copy, you go back to your title block and make sure that the title block is not highlighted. Right click, clipboard, paste. What do you notice? You notice that the text is really big. That is okay. All you need to do is just to select it. You right click, you come down to properties. Okay, you're gonna see all these properties are open. What you want to change here is the text height. So just click on the text height. Let's drop down to that to maybe 5 millimeters. Press enter, and that is okay. So I'm just going to cancel out of there. Okay, so when that happens now, I can just click here and I move this text now, maybe up here, and you have the text well placed in there. So we have this one, which we don't need. So you can just go in here and you can even delete this because you've already copied that already. And when you look in here now, you see that is beautifully placed. Okay, so you can go ahead and you do anything you want to do to, like, maybe further communicate the idea behind your design. Okay, yeah, so after you do this now, all you need to do is just to right click, you plot, and you can do a preview to actually see how that is going to look like. So let's just do a preview, and there you go. You see that that is going to print out in black and white because we set that as monochrome. Okay, that is why it's printing out in black and white. And if, for instance, we set this up, so for you to leave here, you just right click and you exit. Okay, if you wanted this to print in color, all you need to do is to change this from monochrome to AUTOCAD. And when we do the preview, you're going to see that that is going to be in color. Okay, so those are just the settings. So you don't need to always be doing a plot every time you print. If you have your title block like this well set out, all you need to do now is just to come in here and you launch put whatever you want to put to print here, and you just plot, and it's going to print out immediately. Okay. Now let's do this plotting again, and let me just show you one more trick. So if we were to preview this again, what do you discover? You are going to discover that this line here is displaying. Okay. Now this was just the line that we created, which was to show us the extent of our plotting environment. We might not want this to display. So how do we do that? So I'm just going to right click again. I exit out of here. Let me show you why that line is displaying. Now that is because if I was to come here under my model tab, you discover that the layer that is active in here is the tables layer. Okay. And this line, when we created what we were created, when we created a viewport, we actually used that layer, right? And if we were to come in here, say in the layer properties, as you find here, this is the layer properties here. And let's just screw and come this way. Now you're going to see all this plot. So it shows that everything here that is active is going to be plotted out. Okay. So what we had to do was we had to create a different layer. So let me just come up here. I say new layer, and I'm going to call that what? Viewports. Okay. So I'll just call that viewports. We can set the color to be red, but I'm going to use a different color so you see the difference. Let's use maybe this. Okay. And then we set this not to plot. Okay. So I'm going to come here and I turn off. I just click there and it turns that off. Okay. All right. So let's set this to be the current layer. So I'm just going to select this. I make that current. I cancel out of here. Now, when I come here, you see this is the viewport that is active. But when I click here, you see it turns to the tables layer. Why? Because that was actually the layer that we used to create this. So I'm just going to select these two lines that we have here, this and this, and I switch that now to the new layers that we just created, which is what? Viewport. Now watch what happens when I want to plot this. If I was to go now to plot and I go to preview, now you are going to see that, okay, it is still plotting out. Let's just go back out. I don't know why that is happening. That's not actually supposed to plot. Let's view that again. Layer properties and viewports. Okay, that has been set not to plot. Just a minute. Let's see. Okay, this has been set not to plot. I don't know why it's still plotting. Okay, so let's just select, let's do that again. We make that active. We close out of there. Let's make that layer active. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just delete this. Okay, oh, I see why. Now you see that was because we actually had another line below there, so we don't need this. Okay, so what we have to do now, let's just do an offset again of 20, and we bring this in. Now watch what happens when we plot. If I was to go now, I right click, I plot. You actually see that this is within the printer limit. So this is actually supposed to display, but we have set it not to display or not to plot. So when we do a preview, you're going to see that it disappears and all you have is just this, just the dimensions. Now, I don't know why. Okay, the design has also gone off. So let's just bring in the design again. We just double click in here. We come to layout. We can just create a viewport, say like so. And we turn off the display, turn off the straight lines. And let's just center. Now let's use another design. Let's use this. Let's say I want to print out this floor plan, just this floor plan, and we are okay, like this. Okay. All right. Just click out. And then we right click, plot, preview. You're going to see that you have just that design and you don't have the line, that line that is around, even though it is there within the printer limits. But since you have set it up in the layers as not to plot, then that is not going to plot out. Okay, so that is just it. And there are a lot of things which we still have to cover, or which we cover here in Tarita Institute, from AutoCAD to Revit to Lumion to Camtasia. And I'm just gonna go over that very fast before I give the floor to Mr. Tamon, because he has a very good package reserved for us today. Now, permit me, I would just like to introduce the program. Some of you in here might be involved in the session already. we're actually offering a BEAM orientation session, a BEAM orientation program. And in that BEAM orientation program, what we are doing is we are going with what we call the practical approach, which means what we drill you in there is we drill you on how to bring out your designs first professionally. And secondly, we are using just the practical approach. So in there, we have 4 softwares which we are covering. We start with AutoCAD still, which is this AutoCAD. But what we are doing in there is what we call AutoCAD construction drawings, okay? So we take AutoCAD construction drawings to teach you everything from the basics of AutoCAD right up to creating plans to layers and all that, creating your title blocks. And then we show you how you can bring out your designs in a professional way, which helps to communicate the idea of your design more, okay? And then from there, we move to Revit. So let me share you. Okay, so this is Revit. I hope you can see my screen. Hope you can also see my screen. So this is the Revit software. Okay, now Revit is now the program is called BEAM Orientation Program, and we are aimed at bringing out BEAM experts. Okay, now this is the software that helps you to actually achieve what is called BEAM. What is BEAM? BEAM is what? Building Information Modeling. Okay, now there are a lot of things which you can do in Revit which you can't do in AutoCAD, and of course, just like AutoCAD, it is also an Autodesk product. As you can see, I'm still signed in there, like I signed in yesterday. You can see I'm still signed in. This is still from Autodesk. But here now is a very advanced software which helps you to actually achieve what is called BEAM. So what do I mean by BEAM? BEAM is a system of designing which takes you from, because in AutoCAD, all you can do in AutoCAD is just 2 and maybe a little bit of 3 dimension. But in BEAM, it takes the whole idea up to what we call 6 dimension, okay? Which means you can not only design your building in here in 2 dimension, like you can see, you still have the floor plans in here. You still have you have the 3 dimension and all that. It takes you up to what we call 4 dimension, 5 dimension, and even 6 dimension. As you see, you have options to create your schedules and all that. And you have the option to to design your project not only architecturally, structurally, MEP, that's mechanical, electrical, and plumber, and way more. Okay, I don't have a lot of time, so I'm not really going to cover this a lot. I think Mr. Tamon is going to give us more details on this. And then after this, after we are done with BEAM, what is also involved in the program is also Lumion. Okay, now what is Lumion? Lumion is a way of bringing all your designs now to really be realistic. Okay, because a lot of clients out there, or even you yourself, you get to appreciate a design if you really see it like in real life, the way it is finished. Okay, and anybody who does not really know a lot of details, like if you're in here as an architect or an engineer, can easily understand a floor plan, but you need to communicate that design in such a way that anybody that has no idea on architecture even can easily understand. And that is why we are also looking at Lumion. And just let me share my screen. So this is Lumion. This is the same project that we are just from looking at in Revit. And you can find it now in Lumion, and you see that this is looking way more realistic. And if anybody was to look at this, you can easily understand what the design is talking about, and you can easily make the necessary changes and order. Okay. Now the last, but not the least, so in here in Lumion, what you basically do is just apply materials, you render out realistic looking pictures, you create realistic looking videos, landscaping, you can do interior and exterior decoration, and all that, and you actually bring the project to life, okay? And then the last but not the least, we also have for Camtasia. Now, in Camtasia, it just helps you to bring out your project now in a video format in such a way that you can easily communicate the design intent, okay? Now, I'm just going to share our Facebook page and I show you some of the projects which we have there, which was the final product. First of all, let me share the program. This is Camtasia. If you can see my screen right now, this is the software, Camtasia. Now you have the option to start a new project, and all that. Yeah, we are going to also be covering this. And then you just permit me now share just 1 minute. Sorry, I had a little technical breakdown. Can you hear me, please? Hello?
Yeah, I can get you, Mr. Wahidari.
All right. So, but last but not the least, I just want to share this. Okay. So now this is our Facebook page. So this is a design that was created using Camtasia. Okay. This is a design that has been created using Camtasia. And now you see, you have the option to start by putting maybe your logo, if you have a company logo, and then you can also add some text. As you see, there's a logo there. You can add some text to the design to show what the design is actually really talking about. Okay. Let me just scroll to where you have like some information coming in. Looking at, and this is it when you are done with it. And you see, if you were to present this to a client is easily going to understand this, even if they don't have any knowledge of what construction is talking about, and they can actually easily make some changes and order. Not only that, it also makes your work to really look professional and stands out. Okay, so without taking a lot of your time, that is basically what I had for you today. And Mr. Tamon, if you are there, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Wahidari. Hello. Hello, Mr. Wahidari. Seems your network.
Yes, hello, Mr. Tamon. Sorry for that. I'm having some technical difficulties. So over to you while I try to rectify that.
Okay, all right. I don't know about the program. Have you shared already? Should I share that program, or you want to? Let me see.
No, you can just go ahead and share it. I'm now talking through my phone, so I'm still trying to get the PC back in order. So yeah, you can go ahead and share it.
Okay, no problem. Just give me a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. Thank you very much, Mr. Wahidari, for that really interesting package which you had for us today. And we're going to be talking about the BIM Master Program. I'm sure most of you have heard Mr. Wahidari has tried to elaborate on that. And he's going to come up to really talk about the program in detail. What I'm trying to do now is to get I'm trying to get the file up and running. I have the file up and running. I don't know, Mr. Wahidari, I think it's time you try to talk about the program. Then I'm going to throw more light on that when you've actually briefed everyone about the program. So I'm just going to share my screen right now so you can give a breakdown about the program. This program is coming from Talita Group Institute. And once Mr. Wahidari has been able to bring out, has been able to have been able to explain this program to you all, I'm going to give you the reason why we decided to come up with this program. All right. So Mr. Wahidari, I think I'm just going to share my screen right now. Okay, share my screen. All right. All right, so over to you, Mr. Wahidari.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tamon. Hello.
Yeah, I can get you clearly.
Okay, thank you. All right, so yeah, this is the program of which I'm talking about. Now, this is the Beam Master program, okay? I think there are some of you here who are already involved in the program. And if you're not, please, I want to encourage everybody here to be part of this program, okay? So, like I said before, we are going to be starting from AutoCAD, which is like what we have been looking. So we are going to start from AutoCAD. And from AutoCAD, Mr. Taman, can you just scroll down a bit? Okay, my system is back, so let me just share it from here. Okay, so we are going to be starting from AutoCAD, and what we are going to be looking at is what we call AutoCAD construction drawings. Okay, so now, of course, before you want to attend this session, you are going to normally have to have had a little bit of knowledge on AutoCAD and stuff like that. But even if you don't have, that is still not a problem, because we try to be as explicit as possible. And of course, the program is also 100% online. So you need to have a PC or a laptop with internet connection. Even if you don't have the internet connection on the PC, you can still try to follow up with your phone. And then after that, these recorded sessions, of course, will always be submitted to you, just to the people who attend and all that. So let me just share my screen now. Okay, so here is the program. Okay, so like you see here is BIM Professional Certification Practical Approach. Now, this is a certified program, okay, which means you are going to be receiving a certificate at the end of this course. This program is from Tarita Institute, and it is actually a program that is supposed to run for 5 to 6 weeks. That's 5 to 6 weeks of continuous studies, but we always try to break that down so that it can suit the students, you know. And we are going to be starting with AutoCAD, like I said. Now, one thing about all these courses is we provide all the softwares for you free of charge. So all the softwares, all you need to have is just a computer or a laptop, and we provide the softwares. So we are going to be starting with AutoCAD. This is going to be provided in the group, so you can use this flyer to actually see what we are going to be covering in the program. So you can see the course outline for AutoCAD, and we have a time limit of 30 hours to actually cover that. From there, we move to Revit, which I was just from showing you. Let me just be displaying these softwares as we move along. So we are going to be starting with AutoCAD, which is our normal traditional working software, which we are used to, which is this. But what we are going to be doing in AutoCAD is what we call AutoCAD construction drawings. Just a minute while I share my screen. I don't know why it is not being shared. Okay, so what we are going to be doing in AutoCAD is what we call AutoCAD construction drawing. So we are not going to be in here learning about how you can, the normal things which you go about, like maybe to set a basic plan and all that. No, you already have to know that. And even if you don't know that, we still try to be as explicit as possible. So what we do in here is to make it in such a way that at the end of the day, you produce your designs in such a way that they are really professional and they really stand out as construction drawings, okay? Yes, we are going to be covering that in a little bit more detail. Now, of course, after that, we are going to be moving to Revit, which is what I already explained before. And this is the software, Revit. This is a Revit software. And in here, what we are going to be doing, we'll cover everything from architectural to structural to MEP, the way you can design and all that. And we are also going to be looking at more advanced techniques which you use in designing. And we're also going to introduce the beam itself, which is actually taking your design into 4, 5, 6 dimension. Now, let me just explain one little difference which you have here in Revit and in which is different from AutoCAD. Okay. Now, let's say designing in AutoCAD. Let's say we were doing this design in AutoCAD. So this is the ground floor, right? Let me go maybe to the first floor or so. Okay, so let's say maybe you want to change this door in AutoCAD. Okay, and you already brought out your 3D. Now you discover that if you want to change this door, you have to change it in the 2D, change it in the 3D, and you move along. It is a whole lot of work. But in Revit, As you're creating your 2-dimension, your 3 dimensions are already coming out, your schedules are coming out, and a whole lot of other things are already coming out, which actually helps you to ease your work as far as working is concerned. And that is why you discover that when you are a BIM expert, you are able to do the job of an architect, an engineer. That's by engineer, I mean an electrical engineer, a plumbing engineer, a mechanical engineer. They're able to do all those jobs alone with 100% accuracy, which means there is no room for error. Okay, you can't even make an error because the softwares that are involved are not even going to allow you or give you that option. Okay, yes, there is no room for error. One other thing, you'll notice that if we are joined in AutoCAD, let me just share back my AutoCAD screen. Now I can easily say this dimension is 6 meters, 55 centimeters. Okay, but of which I'm actually forging this dimension. It's not the same thing in Revit. When you are working in Revit, you must be realistic. If I say this dimension is 3 meters, it must be 3 meters. Okay, there is no room for error as far as Revit is concerned. So there is just a lot which we are going to be covering in Revit. And as you can see from the course outline, the Revit itself has the highest time allocated to it as compared to all the others. This is 80 hours. You see, AutoCAD, we have 30 hours in AutoCAD, but we have 80 hours just in Revit. Okay. And then after that, now we are going to be moving to Lumion, of course, which is also what I was just from showing you. And this is the Lumion. So this is Lumion. And again, you are viewing the same project which we are just viewing. And the reason Lumion has also been included in the program is because Lumion by far is the best rendering, landscaping, and animation software that you have out there. The best. Of course, we have other softwares like Twinmotion, 3ds Max, and all those other. But I'm telling you, Lumion is the best. Okay, and you can do everything in Lumion. All those other softwares are limited, but Lumion is by far the best. And again, of course, we're also still going to be giving you this software free of charge. And what we're going to be doing here, we're going to do everything from rendering exterior to interior to landscaping to creating, bringing out realistic images and videos, of course, and all that in Lumion, okay? And of course, when we are done now, we are now going to be moving to Camtasia, which we are now going to look at how you can join now all these different ideas and you come out with a realistic video, which is really going to communicate what your design is talking about. Okay, so at the end of the day, we are now going to bring out a video like, let me just look for one here for a sample project. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, this is a project in Douala, so just permit me share my screen. So you see now this is what has been created. I think this was created but in Lumion. So if now you see the kind of videos that you bring out in Lumion. So this is really realistic. You can see, you can go inside, you turn around, you show how someone is going on the staircase, you show the interior deco, the layouts, and all that. So these are the kind of things that we're going to be looking at. And if you were to submit this to a client, you discover that a client is going to understand this way better than communicating with our normal traditional means of communication, which we have, which are just the floor plans that are limited to, like, say, maybe AutoCAD. And look at the realistic feeling of this. This is really realistic as compared to if maybe a design that you bring out in just a 3D design, say maybe in AutoCAD and all that, because of course, you know, you can also bring out 3Ds in AutoCAD and all that. So basically, this is what we are going to be doing. This is what we do in the BIM orientation program, and we are using the practical approach. And at the end of the course, you are going to be awarded a certification. Mr. Tamon is going to tell you more about that. And that certification is going to help you not only back here in Cameroon, but it's also going to help you out there in the world, because the certification is not only recognized back here in Cameroon. Okay, thank you, Mr. Tamon. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wahilari, for that explicit details which you've been able to give us in respect to the BIM Master Program. All right, so before I talk about the BIM Master Program, I'm just going to tell you all about, give you a reason why we decided to come up with this program. All right, now I've known Mr. Wahilari for a very long time now, and his ideas are always very great ideas. All right, and he's always had that notion of not completing school and maybe struggling to see if you can work for any organization or so, but trying to become an entrepreneur. And that's what we always pray that each and every one of you should be thinking about. You should try as much as possible that when you're completing from school, even if you were to get a job, but you should have that entrepreneurial mindset. All right. That's the reason why we always try our possible best to educate our students, those who are taking most of our courses, to ensure that they have that entrepreneurial mindset. Don't just leave from school and you're thinking of maybe leaving, going to get a job. No, you should have that entrepreneurial mindset. You should try to see how you can start off your life. Even if you don't have the financial means, the only reason why you should be getting a job is to get that financial means so that you can start up something for yourself, because that is what is going to help you when that job is not there. That is going to be as your, maybe your first source of income, because at the moment, your job is your first source of income, yes. But the time will come when that should even be your second source of income, and what you're actually doing should be your main source of income, and that is what your generation are going to inherit, and that's what make great people out there. That's why you see most of the CEOs of these big companies like Amazon, Metaverse, and eBay. These companies, they don't just start from somewhere. These are people who actually struggled from the ground level and they reach at that level. So the reason why we decided to bring this to you back home is because we've noticed that we have a lot of people who have gone through school. We have architects, we have engineers, we have interior designers. But once they are done from there, what do? They just sit at home, or you become a laborer. What do I mean by you become a laborer? You're done from school. You have the skills which you've obtained, right? You have the skills, all right. But you tend now to working with companies, other organizations. Maybe you are just there to carry the block, or you're just a common laborer, whereas you have the skills. And why is it so? That's because maybe when you submitted your CVs in other companies to get a job, they looked at your CV and they said, no, this guy is not competent enough to pick up this job. That is the reason why we cannot hire you. And you notice that at that level now, you either switch to maybe doing online sales with very good skills. All right. So the reason why we've decided to bring this course is to ensure that everyone who takes this BIM Master program, after the completion of this program, you are going to be well to do, which means that you will not only be able to get a job back home, you'll be able to get a job abroad as well. And not only that, you should equally have what? That entrepreneurial mindset. So when I sat down at Tadita Group Institute, because Tadita Group Institute is affiliated with CPD, that is a body, an international body in the UK. All right, they issue us certifications in terms of digital marketing, and equally accredited by the London International Studies. That particular institution is located here in the United Arab Emirates. Great. So the reason why we decided to incorporate this is because while being part of that institute, because I'm equally a mentor in that institute as well, while being there, I discovered that they equally offer this BIM Master program. All right. So I tried to do some inquiries, and I noticed that Mr. Wahila Richi is someone who is very competent and his skills are up there. I mean, if you see the projects which he handles, for someone of his age handling such projects, that's to tell you that he's really up there. All right. So we came up with this idea. I came up with this idea that why don't we try to incorporate him into the London International and see if they find him valuable. They find him, they look at to see, they try to see if he is capable of handling such a program. So they decided to give him maybe an exam. He had an exam which he took, and he was accredited. And that's the reason why you see he's actually taking programs in respect to this, because we've tried other people as well. They came in, but they could not deliver what the institution was expecting. And the reason why we decided to incorporate this as well is because we noticed that so many people in Cameroon, they believe that they have these skills, but whenever you interview them, you ask them 1 or 2 questions, you notice that they are very blank in terms of this particular field. All right. I've had several people who come saying maybe Tadita Group Institute, please, I want to teach in your institute. I want to be a mentor. I've been teaching this program back home, this country, but I want to be part of this institute. I say, if you want to be part, no problem. We are going to put you through a test. And by the time we ask the first question, you're unable to answer. We ask the second, you're unable to answer. We ask the third, you're unable to answer. Then what do you want to teach the students? If you're able to ask, if we are asking you these questions, you're unable to answer, what are you going to be teaching the students? That's the same thing that happened when we wanted to recruit some mentors, some students to take graphic design, and we asked you simple, basic questions. All you know to do is to use the software. Now, so many of you here who thought you knew how to use AutoCAD very well, but after this few demonstrations, you notice that there are some certain things which you don't know. There are some certain things which you don't know. That's the reason why we decided to bring this BIM Master program in Cameroon. All right. And if you are currently here and you're about to take this program, then you are already the second batch of this program. All right. Because we already have the first batch, they are already completing the program, and they are going to have their graduation in June. All right. So any batch which is going to be with us from now to June, they are going to have their graduation ceremony in Yaoundé in June, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a very, very big program. All right. So the first reason why we decided to bring this program is because of the knowledge. We noticed that there are certain things which people don't know. If you look at the projects which they handle here in the United Arab Emirates, if you know very well that United Arab Emirates is a country where we have so many tourists that come here. And one of the reasons why they come here is because of what? The infrastructure. The buildings here are superb. In fact, that is the major reason why people come to Dubai. It's not about the food, it's not about the accommodation, it is about the infrastructure. When people come to Dubai, you see they stand beside a very beautiful buildings, well constructed. They have very good designs, interior, external designs, interior designs. These are jobs of what? These are jobs of civil engineers, these are jobs of architects. So what is happening in Cameroon? Why can't we actually develop that concept? Why is it that when we are done from school, we believe we are done? Even if you are working, your knowledge just ends at what your company wants from you. You don't try to expand your knowledge. You don't try to see how you can add up to what you already know. You notice that you take 5 years, 10 years, 15 years on the same job, doing the same thing for that company. Why can't you expand your knowledge? Why can't you see how you can escalate or try to take some challenges? There are so many of you who don't believe in challenges. You don't want to take challenges in life. That's what happened when I said, okay, I want to move out from Cameroon. I've been working in Cameroon for the past 4 years. I've been a credit officer at one of the biggest financial institutions in Cameroon. That's the BAPCO, Bameda Police Cooperative. I've been working there for that number of years. And I am a master's degree holder in banking, tax administration, and financial services. And when I mentioned the fact that I want to change environment, all right, I want to change environment, I received so many negative ideas, so many. In fact, the negative ideas were more than the positive ideas. Or the negative, ideas which I received are more than the positive ideas. People discourage me more than those who encouraged me, all right? Because they have a different notion about the country. I know what I have, and I decided to take the bull by the horn, and I decided to change what? My environment. And behold, when I changed my environment, I submitted my CV, and the company which I submitted, I had so many interviews. And one company said, no, this guy is capable, let's take you and put you into this company. That is how it goes. And so many people don't have that initiative. So many people don't believe that you can actually leave your home with the skills you have, and you'll be able to get something which is commensurate to what you already have. So we decided to bring this program, not only to teach you some of this program, but to expand, to open your mind, to make you see the real world, to expose you to the real world. Let me put it that way. We have projects we've done, but what is happening here? That's the reason why we decided to start up with this program. And after sampling people who can take up this course, we discovered that Mr. Wahilari, after taking the exam, he's an accredited, all right? He's accredited to take this course from London International Studies. And whatever you're going to be getting from all the exercises you're going to be doing, all the projects have been provided by us to him. So it's not like he just this program which you have right now, we've taken what is being done here and we've given it to him. That this is a standard we want you to impact in these students. Now, initially, when we thought of this program, all right, when we started up this program, we thought of, first of all, we wanted to introduce someone here to start to teach the students this particular program. But we noticed that the fee which they were requesting from students to pay was really, really exorbitant. This program itself here, this program is 4,000 dirhams. You can multiply by, just take your calculators and you multiply, and you'll know the fee, all right? 4,000 dirhams. And this fee, and for this program, this 4,000 dirhams, you're taking this program is just for a month, all right? It is just for a month. That is to tell you that those who take the programs are people who already have knowledge in this field, because you cannot take this program in 1 month. It's not possible. You cannot complete all of this program in 1 month. The same as you cannot take digital marketing here back home in 1 month. But there are people here who take the program in 1 month. If I have to multiply, let me just give you some statistics. If I have to multiply this 4,000 by 165, the fee is approximately 660,000. That is the fee, not even that is a fee which that is a fee the institute decided to give us for students who want to take the program back home. Because the fee here is more than that. The fee here is 8,000. All right. So that is the fee they gave us, that if you want us to accredit, we should give certifications to students that are taking this program back home. That is the fee. Now, they gave us that fee in the rest in the pretext that they are going to have someone who is going to take the program from here, someone will be teaching them, which means we are going to join you guys with other maybe students that are taking the program here. So when we have the first batch, because initially we just had a deliberation, we brought students together. We had the one-on-one talk with them. And we said, this is the program. We want to help you, right? This time around, we don't want, it's not an issue of maybe we are putting up a particular fee where we are giving this fee to the institution. No, this is what they have given us. And we believe that if this first batch takes this program, understands the program, and we graduate the first batch, obviously we are going to have more students, because you're going to actually testify, you're going to give us testimonies about this program, and obviously we are going to have students. But now the issue was the fee. So when they gave us that 4,000, we said it's too much. All right, we said it's too much. The students complained that it's too much. They cannot afford. And at that time, we had people who could pay. After looking at the program, they said no, they can pay the fee. But majority of the students could not afford that fee. Since they could not afford that fee, we threw it in the light and we asked the institution, what can we do about this? All right, they told us, all right, there's no problem. This is what we are going to do. We are going to give you guys an amount. We don't care how many students are able to take the course to raise this amount. Once we're able to raise this amount, then we are going to issue you the certifications. All right, we are going to issue you the certifications. So when they gave us that amount, how much was that? Was 20 times 100,000 or 2 million francs. That was the amount they told us. That's in francs CFA, right? It's 2 million francs, which means that we needed to get students who were able to bring out their fees, and is going to come up to that amount, so that are going to give this certificate to the students after the course completion. All right, because we told them that we have someone. Once Mr. Awahilari was accredited, then they said, okay, no problem. Since it's accredited, though we are going to have people from London International, they are always going to come in. You'll be attending your classes. Once you're attending your classes, they are going to pop in because they need to equally supervise. They need to evaluate to see what is happening. All right, so they are always going to pop in and check to see, maybe they might ask 1 or 2 questions. Sometimes they will just come silently and they leave. All right, so that is just how the program was, we came up with that program. And during that session, as we started that program, we noticed that we needed 20 students. We needed 20 students because when we sampled the program, we asked the students, how much can each and every one of you pay for this program? They said, some people said 200,000, some people said 250,000, some said 100,000. And after going through that amount, we noticed that majority of the students were between 100,000 and 150,000. Some people were very, very comfortable with the fee. All right, while others, it was really difficult. I believe there are some, I don't know if there's any of the students here, Ms. Awahilari. Let me see. Nelson is part of this, is part of the previous batch, right? Ms. Awahilari, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. No, I don't think there is any student here. I don't think
so. Okay, this should be another Nelson. All right, great. So that is just what we tried our possible best to come up with, and we're able to get the students. So what we are trying to do is we've been able, from that findings, we decided that at every given batch, we should be able to have 20 students for that program. We should be able to have 20 students for that program, so that the fee, at least, we should be able to have 100,000, so that we'll be able to have these certifications and we give to the students. So we have actually thrown this to you guys. All right, we've actually thrown this to you guys. And the next program, when does the next program begin? Let me check the calendar. Mr. Wahilari, when does the next batch begin?
The next batch, they are scheduled to start this Wednesday, I think. Yeah, this Wednesday. I think. Yeah, I think there is one. I think we have one of the students in here, Greater Grace. Okay, I think he logged out already. Great Grace should be in there, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Great, yes, I'm seeing a Great here. I don't know if he's the one.
Oh, maybe it's another Great, I think so. Yes,
Okay.
but the next batch starts this Wednesday.
Wednesday? Okay. So what is going to happen is that we are going to give you guys the opportunity. If you have anything to say about this program, we've just told you how the program operates. And it's a program which is going to run for 3 months maximum. All right, 3 months maximum, that's what is going to take for us to complete this course. And you're going to get a certification, all right? You're going to get a recognized certification from London International. So if you have any question, this is now the time for us to interact, all right? This is the time for us to interact. And I think we already have some students who have already registered for the program. Mr. Wahilari, how many students have registered?
Yeah, I think so now we have 4 students for the next batch.
Mr. Wahilari, I can't get you.
Yes, I said, I think for now we have 4 students. 4 students.
Okay,
for the next batch.
4 students are ready for the next batch. All right. So please, if you have any question in respect to that, what do you think you can afford for the fee? Because you can pay the fee instrumentally. All right. So we are going to discuss about the fee. Like I already told you, we decided to take 20 students for each batch, which each of them are going to pay 100,000, and you can pay this fee instrumentally within the period which you're about to take the course. So if you have any question, please, you ask your question. Any question? I'm going to begin from the top. I begin with Anyeso. Do you have a question so far with the program? I hope each and every one of you have been able to send in your email addresses and your full names. I've been able to get some, while others have not yet sent. So make sure you send
even if you have a question from the session we just had, you can also
if you have a question from the session. So if you're here, please, you're going to get the recordings of the previous session later as well. We're going to give you both the recording of this session and that of the previous session as well. So you can go through. If you missed out yesterday, you'll be able to catch up and try to understand what was taught yesterday. Any question, please? If you have a question, please you ask.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
It's Mbu Adolf.
All right, you're welcome, Mr. Mbu.
Yeah. When I was hello.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Yeah, when I was following, when we were doing the plotting, I wanted to ask, with that plotting method that we use, can you determine the scale of your drawing? The scale that you are going to, that you will determine the scale that you are using.
Yes, you can determine the scale of your drawing. Let me just go back there. You can determine the scale of your drawing. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
I think you're sharing. It's going to take some time to come up. See, you're sharing your screen.
Okay, let me just stop and I'll do that again.
How did you?
All right. While Mr. Wahilari is trying to share his screen, there is something which I want to share with you guys as well. Like I said before, those who want to have a career change, All right. I'm just going to share. I'm going to share a screen right now. We have so many opportunities as well here in the United Arab Emirates, which you can get hold of. So many people just decide to travel, maybe because of the crisis or whatever. You just decide to move without actually sitting down, try to understand the environment which you're getting yourself into. All right. Try to see the opportunities that are there for you. You need to understand these things very well before you try to move. All right. So we have a lot of opportunities for BIM experts, civil engineers, structural. We have architects. There are so many opportunities that are out there for you guys. All right. So these are so many jobs which you can pick out. And this is a country. This is a country which this particular field dominates in this country, because this is what brings tourists to this country. So if you have these skills to a particular level, then I don't think if you come here, you're going to face any difficulties. You might face difficulties maybe when you come, but you need to understand the environment and try to see what is needed. All right. Now, these are so many companies. As you can see, this is a website. These companies here, they need workers. You have BIM managers, you have BIM CAD technicians, we have BIM coordinators, we have digital building data controllers, we have senior architects, we have senior commercial directors. So there are so many fields which, once you understand your field very well, you can even divert, but make sure when you are diverting, you should divert with something which is related to your field. Take, for example, I am an accountant. I have a master's degree in banking, right? Now I am into the field of finance. Now, switching from that field to the digital marketing field, I am very, very flexible. All right. I can work in a financial institution as an accountant. I can work as a credit officer, and I can equally work in that financial institution as well as their digital marketing expert, because I understand the concept. I understand that particular field very well. And once I get into, like, once they need someone like a digital marketer, I'll be very fit for that position. For example, I've just completed, right? Let's just say if they have a company like a financial institution needs, let's say, digital marketers, right? They need digital marketers, right? That is the field. And we submit CVs. I submit my CV. Somebody who does not have anything to do, does not understand finance or whatever, maybe submits the CV as well in that same field. You notice that I'm going to maybe have an edge over that person. I'm going to have an edge over that person because I understand the field very well, and I can equally fit in that position very well. That's the reason why you need to try as much as possible to understand your field. Try to get every information in respect to that field. Now, as you'll be moving ahead, you're going to get so many fields that are related to what you are doing. All right. There are some fields that are I just call them a subsection of the major field. For example, if you're talking about, let's say, a BIM coordinator or a BIM manager, before you become a BIM manager, you must have what? Managerial skills. You must have taken maybe there's a course in terms of management which you have that can boost up or can beef up what you already have in you. All right. So there are so many opportunities out there. It's just for you to make sure that before leaving, you have the skills that are necessary. And some of these companies even recruit directly from home. You can just go to some of these sites, you even drop your CV, you apply from home. If they look at your CV, they know that this CV is well to do. Some companies might even interview you on Zoom, and they even recruit you directly from home. Rather than stressing yourself, maybe thinking of maybe you get very bad orientations and you come here and you get yourself stuck. All right. So these are so many job opportunities. Bachelor degree in civil engineering, CAD, AutoCAD proficiency, design skills, site development, data design, planning, conceptual skills, legal compliance, drafting. These are some of the things which you're going to learn. And look at salary range. 4,000, this is about approximately 600,000. And this is just what? This is a job which does not require so many work experience. All right? Because we have entry-level jobs as well. We have jobs that need you to have maybe experiences. And another thing too, one most important thing which I forgot, and thank God I remembered. At the end of this program, because in June, we are launching the Tadita Group Engineering Association. This is one of the major aspects. This is an aspect which is very, very vital for people who are just at the entry level. All right. There are companies that when they ask of your working experience, it's not all about you maybe working in an organization. There are some experiences which just being with an association, for example, you are going to get a lot of experience. For example, Mr. Wahilani right here, when he takes these courses, like I told you, these are practical sessions because you work off-site and on-site. All right, just that I can't upload the pictures of some of our previous students who have been able to visit because some of the projects which you're going to work in with are real-life projects, some of them are already under construction. You are even going to visit some of the sites. What you've been able to do, you're going to visit some of the sites. I don't know if Mr. Wahidari has those pictures which he shared so that we can actually, some of you can actually see what, anyway, we are going to show that in the forum. We're going to share some of these projects in the forum. All right. And of course, we equally like I always say, we always encourage you all to take this program and make sure that you try to become entrepreneurs. Because at the end of this session, we equally encourage you, all right, you should equally have some digital marketing skills in you to help boost what you already have, all right? Now, this is Hilotech Construction. This is the company of Mr. Wahilari Chi. And like I said before, by the time you're done with this program, honestly, by the time you're done with this program, you're not only going to learn this BIM master program, you're equally going to learn how to build yourself, all right? How to build yourself to become a professional, how to build yourself to become an entrepreneur. You can go through so many sites, go through so many websites in Cameroon out there, all right? Go and compare some of these construction sites and compare with this particular website. And you're going to understand what I'm saying, all right? Because this already has the number of traffic that this particular website draws now, all right? Thanks to the Data Group Institute, we've been able to ensure that our students, once you're done with this program, you're really going to get the best. These are real life projects which are currently going on. Some of them they're already done with the projects on the, I think Mr. Hillary can testify about this. This is a project which is in Douala, all right? So these are the things that gave him recommendation. And I bet you if he moves from where he is now and comes to the United Arab Emirates, I bet you he's going to get something very good. But like I said before, he loves to be an entrepreneur. He doesn't like working with people. And so far, so good. He's doing perfectly well. So there's no need for you to move from an environment to a strange environment when you are actually doing perfectly well in the environment which you find yourself. And by the time you're done with this course, we associate you with we include you into the association, and we're equally going to have a site for that particular project. And once we have that site, we are going to ensure that we broadcast it using the digital marketing skills. We are going to broadcast in such a way that when people need projects like this, they are just going to maybe go on Google, the search, and they are going to get into us. And on that side, you're going to get so many engineers, you're going to get so many experts there, and maybe you're just going to choose one who is going to actually carry out your project for you. These are things which we are building gradually, all right? This is a project that started in November. We already have students which we are going to graduate them in June. And we are expecting to have more students because we don't only have BIM experts to graduate in June, we have advanced digital marketing experts who have equally completed, all right? We equally have graphic designers, web developers, and it's going to be a very huge program which is going to last for 3 days. So don't miss this opportunity. Don't miss this opportunity. Whatever it takes, make sure you take this program. Because by the time you're done with this program, you're going to have a week session on digital marketing. We're going to orientate you how you can start building your skill, because you don't necessarily need to go and rent an office to showcase your skills. Hilotech Construction is a business, is a construction company that runs virtually. Once this particular platform was introduced, I bet you he saw that it is a program which is far more better rather than paying rent. Businesses here in the United Arab Emirates, offices are just there to maybe people who really want to have one-on-one discussions. Everything here is virtual. If you look at Amazon and look at eBay, these are companies that they practically don't have any physical office. They practically don't have any physical office. You never meet the manager anywhere. You never meet the workers anywhere. You order your products, they come to you. Same as you can need a project, like a construction project like this. You get to the Hilotech Construction website, and you pick up a project from there, you have a one-on-one discussion, then you guys can arrange a meeting. You arrange a meeting, you can arrange a corporate meeting where you can now sit down, you now discuss on the terms and conditions of the project, and that's it, the project is executed. Once the business has been registered, there is no problem. So please, if you have any question to ask, don't miss this opportunity, all right? Whatever you have, you can always start the program and you see how you can maybe do your payments as we move ahead. All right, so thank you very much. It's just what I wanted to show you guys. And we have a lot of projects out there, which we believe that by the time you go through these projects, you're going to actually understand so many things. Thank you very much. If you have your questions, please, you can go on and ask your questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tamon. Let me just permit me to share my screen again. Let me try to do that again. So who asked the question earlier, please? I don't know, are you still around?
Yeah, I'm the one, sir. I'm the one.
Okay, let me just, I don't know, I'm having some difficulty sharing my screen. I don't know why. It keeps saying the screen sharing is paused. I don't know why that is happening. Okay, let me just share another screen and let's see if. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yeah, your screen is shared already.
Okay. All right. So your question was if you can change or to know the skill that you are working on here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's very easy. If you come down here, you are going to see that you have where this is where you have it, scale of selected viewport. So you can scale the viewport here. Now, actually, what I was doing earlier is the manual way of scaling it, okay, by just using the mouse to zoom in and out. Because, you know, even if you set the scale, as soon as you just zoom in once or out, it changes the scale, right? So what you want to do is when you come here, you can set your scale here. If you want your design to be printed out, maybe 1:1, you know, you can then see it from here. Maybe 1:100, you can see and all that. So this is where you actually change the scale. Okay, so it depends on how your design is looking like. And then you know now the accurate scale to actually put there. So if you want a big scale, say maybe 1:50, you just do it. Even if your scale is not here, you can add it up by maybe just going to custom and you can add a new scale. So let's say maybe, I don't know, let's just put a funny scale in there. Say maybe 1:25. You also make sure you change the drawing units here because you're now saying that one paper unit is going to represent what? 25 drawing units. So just like that. And when you look down here now, you're going to see that that scale is there. And you can also switch to the corresponding scale. So that's how you do it.
Okay, sir. It's clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, please, is there any other question? Any other question for clarification? I'm going to go systematically. And yes, so the and yes, so the are you there? Okay, what about great? We have Jerry, we have Nelson, we have Raphael. Any question with regards to the session of today? Okay. All right. If there is no question.
Hello, sir.
Okay. Hello.
Good evening. This is Eta Raphael from talking from Limber.
Okay, Eta Raphael. All right. You're welcome. So you have a question?
Yes,
or your remark as concerned the session of today?
Yes, the session of today was very nice. I have a big problem when the other prof from Dubai was saying something.
Okay.
Because what I want to ask is that some of us are in active service already. So at times we go to work in the morning and come back. Now we need to know where the program runs from. It is from 8 p.m. to this period, so that we not to schedule our program. Also,
no, all the programs, all the programs run at night from 8 to 10, 8 to 10. So we made it like that, yeah, because actually me too, I have a lot of work which I do during the day. So I have a construction company to run, so I have a lot of work. So I can also, my program is also free just at night and stuff like that.
Okay. Then my second point is concerning the fee, because I was talking of 100,000 funds, and you have to make the payment within 3 months before you have your certificate, something like that.
Now,
Yeah.
let me throw more light on that.
Yes.
Yeah, the fee is
Yeah.
100,000. You're going to break it down into 3 major installments. We have 30, 35, 35,000, which you can pay that monthly before the program runs out. All right, so that's just how the program is. So if you have, let's say, you have to begin the program, you have to make sure that at least you should pay your first installment. All right, you can pay your first installment before the class begins. I think that will be very great. For those who
Okay.
maybe they can afford that first installment, maybe within the first month. All right, then you need to first of all you pay 5,000 for your registration. The registration, we are going to deduct that from the fee as well. So it is not separate from your fee. You are just ensuring that you are taking some commitment and you're going to be part of the program. So once you pay that 5,000 as the registration fee, we include you in the program and we tell you the modalities of what it takes for you to actually begin this program. So once you begin the program now, we make sure that before the end of the month, the first month you should have paid your total first installment. But we are going to give you a breakdown on how you are normally supposed to do that. So I think, I don't know if I've
Okay.
answered your question.
Yeah, I'm okay now, which means that if I give maybe 10,000, 20,000, it will be well understood. Maybe I've registered, then you know that I have to do my remaining balance for the first installment, which have to be 15,000.
Yeah, perfect. You've gotten it very
Yeah.
correct.
Then the method of payment now, how is the payment done?
I think we have Mr. Wahilari is going to share that with you. You can contact Mr. Wahilari if you have his contacts, or you contact me. All right. Immediately after this, we are going to give you the various modalities. I think because we've tried the possible best of students paying through the institution's account in Cameroon, but sometimes it becomes difficult, and the movement we have to relocate. So we tried our possible best to make sure that there is a mobile money means of collecting the money. All right, there's a mobile money means of collecting the money. So Mr. Hillary is going to talk more about. We are going to share with you a mobile money account which you can pay. That once you pay, you just need to pay, and then you send a screenshot of your payment, and we're going to register you for the class, because sometimes it's difficult for people to move around to go to the accounts of Data Group Institute. But if you prefer that method, we are equally going to give you that opportunity as well.
Okay. All right. The reason why I'm asking all the questions because I've been to Dubai and I say it's difficult to work as an engineer in Dubai. So I know all I'm talking about. That's why I'm interested about the program. And it's good for when you make a payment, you're really committed to the program, and it's a good program. Like I'm very interested when Mr. Eli was talking of that, this Rivet and Lumion, something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's captured my mind because most of us in Cameroon, we are so adapted to 2D, and when we know that we know the knowledge of 2D and 3D, we are the best. So I discovered there's a lot that we need to
Yeah,
learn.
that's
Talking
true.
about
That's true. That's the reason why
yeah.
that's the reason why when we went through this program, we noticed that people believe that, because honestly, it's the same thing that happened, right? When I was back home, in Cameroon, and with the knowledge I had in digital marketing, I knew, oh hell, I am really good in what I do. But when I get here, I noticed that it's a total different ball game. I had to start back from scratch, had to go back to school, and I had to spend a lot just to get the knowledge which is required. So that's what we are trying to do. And we want people to actually have, because by the time you're done with this program, I tell you, you're going to feel something different in you. All right. You can sit among others and tell them proudly that what I know, what I have in me is really greater than what maybe most of you thought I have in me. All right. And you can actually excel, because by the time you have this knowledge and you have the digital skills to actually excel with your knowledge on the internet, I bet you're going to have so many clients. Mr. Hillary can testify about that. You're going to have so many clients.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
I will be
You're
grateful
welcome.
also if all those methods can be dropped on that WhatsApp group, so that those who are interested can be making their payment and order will be easier.
Yeah, we are going to do that. Once we are done with this program,
Yeah.
we are going to do that in the forum, and we are going to cement every aspect of this after this session.
Okay, then I want to also plead with Mr. Hillary that maybe, I don't know, maybe whether because it's in the introduction, and this thing is mostly practical, at least they can take it, they can go slower because the program is too fast. Just that I understand 2D, that's why I'm enjoying it. But somebody does not understand 2D, you have difficulties.
All right, yeah, I understand. I got your point. One thing you need to understand is that this program is just a boot camp, all right? And you know very well that if you have to start talking about AutoCAD here, 1 day, 2 day cannot. So we just decided to pick out some few aspects which is which we can touch, and those who actually understand the program will actually know that there is something which they are lagging in terms of this. But as far as the training is concerned, no. As far as the training is concerned, we are really going to take our time and make sure that you understand all the basic concepts and equally the main practical aspects that are necessary for you. So you don't have any problem when it comes to the class itself. No, that's the reason why you have that duration to complete the course.
Okay. Then what about the software that we are going to use, like the Lumion, the River? We don't have
everything will be provided. The institution have provided this software free of charge. You're going to get the software free of charge.
Okay. All right. Yes. Then I'm good. I'm okay now.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
All right. All right.
Any question? Further questions? Further questions? Great. Any question? Please, people, you guys should say something.
There's a question. There is a question in the chat. I think that is coming from Great.
Okay. All right. The question is, good evening, sir. Please, I have some network problems. I didn't get the period schedule for the program, and also concerning the program, is a student allowed to choose a particular software to learn, or we are learning all? Now, the programs which we have showed you, Mr. Wahilari has showed you, we are going to learn everything. You don't choose, all right? Because I think this module is a continuous process, right? It's a continuous process. So we begin, I think, Mr. Wahilari, you can just break that down, which program we begin, then which one, then which one. And before you answer that question, the time, the program, the schedule, we are going to be having these programs. We are going to give you the days for the program, and it takes place from 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Let's just say 8 p.m. every day. All right, so we're going to give you a schedule, and during those days which you're going to have your classes, it's going to be from 8 to 10, Cameroon time, 8 to 10. All right, so that is just about that. So Mr. Wahilari, please, you can now talk about he's asking a question in respect to the softwares. Are they going to take one? Are they going to learn the one they prefer, or they're going to take all? We're going to teach them all of the programs.
No, the thing is, well, actually, it is set up in a module form, but since the whole idea behind the program is everything is connected. So if you say you're coming in just to take one, you are not really going to have the full knowledge. And if they are giving you a certification at the end, it's not really going to be worth it. Now, this is the thing. If you come in and you say you just want to take one, but no, you are not going to have the certificate. Okay. Yes, but of course you can still get just come in for what you want to learn, and you get that knowledge and you go out, but you're not going to be certified because the certification is for the whole course. You must take the whole course, so because it is only through that now that they will know how you actually understand exactly what the whole idea of BIM is all about. But if you want to just be drilled on one particular section, then it's okay. Yeah, you can still have that, but then you know that you are not going to qualify for the certification.
And then now I understand the question. I didn't actually get the question very well. Now I understand the question. Please, this program for all the course, all the modules, you're taking the modules complete. All right. We have not broken them into sections where you can take Revit or you take AutoCAD. No, we take it from the beginning to the end, because what the projects which we are going to be working on, some of them will be linked up from AutoCAD right down to maybe the Camtasia program. So you cannot just come in. If you come in and they're handling a particular project which they saw before, you're going to get lost. Obviously, you're going to get lost. All right. So that's just what it takes. So I think Mr. Wahilari has been able to answer that question. Any other questions so far? We have about 7 students in this training session, and I want to see each and every one of you for that program, because it's not going to be an easy session in June. It's not going to be, by the time we are done with this program and We have that ceremony in June. Trust me, we are going to make sure that most companies in Cameroon are aware of what you have. Some of you were able to get through us through this program from online, all right? You don't follow the page, you just saw the ads, all right? Those are the type of things we are going to do with you. We are going to sell your skills for you online. By the time you're done with this program, you won't even know, people are going to actually be aware of you and things like that. So don't miss this opportunity, all right? Don't miss this opportunity. Try your possible best to take this program, and we've tried our possible best to ensure that you take this program. And even if we don't have up to the number of students at the end, we are going to see how we are going to work with the institute to ensure that you all get the certifications. Because the main target is to have 20. All right, so I'm encouraging each and every one of you, start your registration process immediately and start taking these courses immediately. Once we are bringing up digital marketing orientation programs, which are paid programs, like maybe 1 day, 2 day orientation, because we always have digital marketing trainings for let's say for businesses, accountants, those who want to learn these skills. And we always come up with digital marketing trainings for engineers as well, paid digital marketing programs. But those who are taking the BIM Master program, they attend those sessions for free. So please don't miss this opportunity. Make sure you grab this opportunity and take it very, very seriously. And once you start the program, don't hesitate. Make sure you attend every single session and make sure you complete with very, very flying colors, because the exams too are going to come from here, and you're going to take the exams online, and it's going to be a timed exam. Evaluation is not being done by Hilotech, or it's being done by the institution here. All right, so you have to really take your time, understand this, and make sure that you get the best out of this. It's out of experience. We've been able to know what is happening here, and we want to try to see if we can emulate the same thing that's happening here back home. All right, so any question?
Yes, please, I have a question. Is Mr. Ambu?
Yes, Mr. Mbu, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to know if the software that we studying during the program, does it the type of machine really matters? If you have a machine with 4G RAM, does the software can the machine carry the software that you're going to use?
I think okay, Mr. Wahidari, you can answer that.
Yeah, no, it's okay. When you get to me, if you're interested in the program, and when you get to me, before you are included in the forum, we actually will go over all that. But for the 3 programs, you have Revit, AutoCAD, and Camtasia. You don't really need to worry about a system that much, because if you have a basic system that has, like what you said, 4 GB of RAM, maybe an i5 or even an i3 or even a dual core even, yeah, that is good to go. Yes, but it is when you come down to Lumion that we're going to need to check some other little details. But even at that, there is still a way that we set it up to try to make it in such a way that whatever system you have, you can still run the software, yes, and you still attain the objective. So we look at that before we start the program. Now, for the program PC, we start with AutoCAD, then we move to Revit, then Lumion, and then Camtasia. Now, it has been positioned in that order because actually that is the same order that you are going to follow to have the best results at the end. So we start with AutoCAD, to Revit, to Lumion, and then to Camtasia. Mr. Mbu, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Nelson, you haven't said anything since we started. Any question, Jerry? All right, I think there are no other questions, Mr. Wahilari. I think we can wrap up with this session of today.
Yes, I think we wrap up here. So for all of you who attended, you are going to receive the recorded sessions, and keep sharing the opportunity. Okay, if you have a colleague or a friend who you think that can find this important, don't hesitate to also share, and you bring them to be part of the program. Because believe me, the way the world is going now, you always have, as an entrepreneur, as an engineer or an architect, you always need to stand out, okay, and try to meet up Yes, that is the only way that you excel. Now, a lot of you would think that engineering or architecture, or when you go to school, that is, oh no, please, there is a lot in this, okay? And as time changes, you know, this is a very competitive field. So if you don't have these skills that will really help you to stand out or meet up with these challenges, with time, you'll find that you're out of place. Yes, you find that you are out, you're just totally out, because what is going to be needed, you are not going to have those skills. So the B Master program is really going to expose you to those skills that you really need to stand out. Whether you are just in here to get the knowledge to be as an entrepreneur, or you want to get a job or whatever, you're going to see that the knowledge that you're going to get from here is really going to be worth it. And it's really going to help you to stand out. And Mr. Tamon is here. He's a digital marketing expert. So not only are you going to get this knowledge, but he's also going to help you to have the exposure that you're going to need. What do I mean by exposure? A lot of you, being an engineer or an architect does not only end there. If you are the best engineer, the best architect, and people don't know about you, you are nothing, okay? And you can't go anywhere. So you actually need to be able to connect to these people who are really in need of the services that you can offer or the talent that you have. And if you can't do that, then seriously, whatever you are made of is only where you are going to go nowhere with it, okay? So what you also want to do is also, we are grateful. First of all, I'm grateful to Mr. Tamon, yes, for first of all giving us the opportunity for really running this program here in Cameroon, because he's the one that has really helped us to be able to have the accreditation to run this. And he's also going to help all those who take this to also have that exposure that you need. Just like what is happening with us now here back at Hilotech Construction. Yeah, so those are the kind of things that we really want to get people to also come into, and they also try to benefit from there. So if you have some friends, colleagues, and all that who you think that are serious and can also take the course, then you can also get to them and you include them in the forum. Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you all for attending this session. We are very, very happy that you guys join us today. And we are going to be having some of these sessions coming up as well, all right? When we talk about these short, brief boot camps, always make sure you attend, because you're going to learn one or two things from these boot camps, because we are going to be having them subsequently, all right, to educate you on some few things in respect to maybe a particular software, and we're going to equally orientate you on the real life situation, what is happening out there, and we are going to ensure that you get the best. All right, thank you all for attending the session, and see you all in the forum. We are going to share these recorded sessions in the forum as well. Thank you, and God bless you all. Bye-bye for now.